How strong is strong enough for jiu-jitsu? The short answer is, it depends. The long answer is, there's no doubt that you need at least an appreciable level of maximal strength if you want to be an effective grappler. There's a reason that men and women compete separately for the most part. There's a reason that we have weight classes, and there's a reason that steroid use is rampant in jiu-jitsu because they dramatically increase strength amongst other things. Nothing happens in sport without force production. Takedowns, guard passing, pinning, and submissions, all of it. And this is especially true when we're dealing with situations where there's a lot of time to apply force or there's a large amount of mass to overcome, which in my opinion is pretty much anything once you've made the initial connection to your opponent. You might be able to get away with a little less strength if your game is more speed-based or you rely on the mechanical advantages given by the gi, so congratulations to distance passers and lapel players. But even then, you're going to need force to express that speed and explosiveness. If, however, you compete in no gi and rely on pressure passing and a lot of chokes, yep, you're going to need to be strong as shit. What's the best way to test for strength? I recommend picking a couple of simple compound exercises that recruit large muscle groups across the entire body. Normally, one upper body, one lower body is enough. You want to go for technically simple exercises so that you're able to really load up and measure force production rather than just measure your skill at performing a demanding exercise. It should also be easily quantifiable and able to be loaded with small increments of weight so that you're able to accurately measure changes in strength over time. My personal preference for grapplers is to test the back squat and the bench press. Firstly, because there's a ton of research in these two exercises, and secondly, because the deadlift is, although a little more specific for grappling, easier to cheat, and the risks tend to be a little bit higher for the 1 rep max attempts for the deadlift versus the back squat. The same is true for upper body pulling exercises like pull-ups or rows. Once it starts to get heavy, people start to cut the range and they start cheating to get reps. A bench press is just much more clear cut, and we're going to measure pull-ups for jiu-jitsu in another test anyway, which I'm going to discuss in another video. The exact protocol for how we warm up for and test a 1 rep max is available inside the jiu-jitsu athlete analysis, which you can get for free here. But in short, you want to start light for higher reps, then gradually work your way up in load, dropping the reps as you go. Eventually, you're going to start to hit sets of 1 rep. And at this point, you want to keep bumping up the load by 2 to 5 kilos at a time until you're unable to lift the weight. Make sure you use a spotter, obviously. Your 1 rep max is the load of the highest weight that you were able to complete without anyone else touching the bar. You're going to write that number down and then test it again every 3 to 4 months to track your 1 rep max strength over time. How strong is strong enough? Well, to answer that question, we've provided a chart in the athlete analysis to help you calculate your score, not just for strength, but for all the major physical qualities for jiu-jitsu and how to use this information to identify your personal training priorities. But make no mistake, there are very few individuals in jiu-jitsu who are technically, physically, or pharmacologically gifted enough that they don't need to lift heavy weights and be incredibly strong to reach the elite level in our sport. Greco, freestyle, folk style, and judo have all figured out a long time ago that strength is a non-negotiable, and we just haven't caught up to their level yet in jiu-jitsu. Anyway, link in bio for the free presentation. Thanks.